coming back actually from Orlando, where we spent only a day there. Let's meet Cassandra first personally before we get into some business questions. So what makes you you?
I look at, I had humbling start in my life that has propelled me to where I am today. Looking at and learn from good and bad, I think that can lead to success later. And when I went through a course, I did a white paper and did some research on, what does the future look like for women in our industry, and especially as president and CEO. Because if you look across destination marketing organizations or CDBs, there's a lot of number two that are women. And I do think you hit on something. It's about flexibility and support. And I do have a husband that supports and is willing for my career to come first in our family.
Now, because right now we're using eCam, okay, on top of the platform. And what we're able to do and change the scene to a different camera. And Pete is going to be able to move the camera to have those one-on-one looks at Cassandra versus looking at me.
So I strive to really be a servant leader. You make sure that the tools, resources are given to your team, as well as that your role is to remove any obstacles so your team can do what they do. Destination organizations all over the country became the resource of information for customers. What was the local mandate? What were the restrictions? What could you do? What was the capacity limits? There was a lot of information that all of a sudden that was changing on a weekly basis. And another thing that I think that the industry did well is that we partnered with local municipality leadership, right? Whether it was the county mayor or the city mayors of our communities. I do think what we didn't do well is the fact that there was no, every city had different restrictions and different rules, and it became very political all across the country versus focusing on safety and the business. It was a moment that we definitely had to see, okay, how do we sustain moving forward, and how do we start back up, and how do we grow as an industry? When I think about meetings, I think when you look at the hybrid model, I don't think that's going to go away. I think organizations, whether it's corporations or associations, they see that not only can they have the face-to-face meeting, but then they can also reach even a larger audience by doing a hybrid model. So I think that there's going to be a mix in the future, and I don't think it's a trend. I don't think it was something just to survive. I actually think it enhances the overall product of a meeting. We started hosting our hybrid events almost a year ago today. So we've had experiences, and the community really responded well, whether it was the Orange County Convention Center and working with our partners like LMG to create a studio such as this. And we have 2 others in the building, but our hotels also responded with their infrastructure, being able to host hybrid meetings where you could actually be in your room, watch the meeting on TV.
Are at the Palm Golf Course at the happiest place on turf at Walt Disney World Golf. You guys are about to play the Palm Course, which is one of our 18-hole championship courses. We also have foot golf offered on our 9-hole walking course called Oak Trail. It's a great activity for family, for friends, for corporate outings. It's pretty much soccer and golf together. There's a large diameter hole that fits a soccer ball, and you kind of just kick your way around the golf course. So it's a lot of fun, and you guys will have a lot of fun out here at the Palm Course as well.
All right. You're 5 months into Orlando. You had another piece of advice. What was that? Because we talked earlier, but your piece of advice is, what did you do the last 4 years?
Last 10 years.
10 years.
You keep your head down and you stay focused on what you need to accomplish. Period.
Now, can I ask a favor of you?
Yes.
Can you do that in golf today? 35-foot putt uphill. And like usual, she looks at the ball before she hits it. And I am here with Rich Tate, Managing Director, Show Services with LMG, who oversees the Orange County Convention Center's audiovisual.
That's one of my properties. So
That's just one.
I'm nationwide, but that's one of our properties.
So tell us a little bit about what type of virtual, live, and hybrid events are you doing?
What we're seeing is clients are, it's a little polarizing, but not in a bad way. Clients are either seeing the value of having that hybrid event where they've got their in-person attendees and they've got their virtual remote attendees. Some clients really see the value of having a live-only event or maybe a virtual-only event. So we're getting requests from all of those different angles based on what the need is. But by and large, the biggest percentage is around a hybrid event, knowing that as we come back, you know, and it goes beyond, it's more than just as we come back, because clients have seen the value of having those extra users and those extra attendees that might not be there live. But as we started to talk about earlier, it's very important that that's a meaningful experience for both attendees.
So in the last, say, 2 months, how many events have you had at the center?
The scope and scale dictates that a little bit, a smaller event, because there's some fixed costs around the platforms that if you're doing a smaller event, it really does feel like it's double the cost. As the event gets larger, the virtual component doesn't always necessarily scale on that same line as the rest of the event. So it's a little easier to absorb those virtual costs and platform costs in a larger event, especially if it's an event that's monetized and you've got some sponsorship opportunities and you can do some things to generate some income as well.
And so I would assume, though, because if you're going to do the hybrid, you've got the cameras set up, you've got a lot of different things up, you can move that live in-person event even to the next notch.
The thing about all the recording we're doing and the video on demand and the sessions that we're monitoring and recording is it can live on. And you've talked a lot about these sequential events and how we do these things. There's more to it. You have more lead up, you have more post time. A lot of the platforms are built to be up for a year or more so that you can keep reusing that content, adding to that content, make it a place where people can come back to over and over again.
I would like to introduce Jim Curtis, who is the Director of Sales and Marketing at the Walt Disney World Hotel. Say hello, James.
Happy to be here. Happy to host you here at the Swan Dolphin.
If you could, I understand that there is some things going on at your hotel that are happening in the summertime frame. Can you share with us what that is?
Sure, would love to. We're opening our third property here at the complex. We're opening an autograph collection property, 349 rooms, 151 suites, all right here, part of the Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin. So we're up to over 2,600 rooms, over 300,000 square feet of space, and we are pretty much back to business as usual. We were fortunate enough last summer to host the first bubble when we hosted Major League Soccer. So we were bringing our cast members back last May and June when many other hotels were in the process of furloughing their staff. So we're really one of the lucky few that we've remained open, and our cast members have continued to work. And we've all been waiting for June, because June through December, we are booked back to back with the meetings that we all enjoyed so much in the past. So, you know, we did have and still do have the virtual ability to have meetings where you can be in the general session room and sit in your guest room if you don't want to go down where all the attendees are and broadcast from one function room to the other. But pretty much our groups that are coming in for the rest of the year are ready to meet and be in person like we are here tonight. the Walt Disney World Swan Reserve. It's opening late July, early August. And it was really built for the meetings industry. I mean, we built these suites, 151 suites, where if a company wants to have breakouts or one-on-one meetings, it's easy to open the table. You can fit 15 people around the table. If you have like a regional director that wants to host his region in his suite or her suite, it's very easy to turn your parlor of your guest room into a breakout. So it's going to be definitely come to use for the meetings industry.
It's like it's built for pharmaceutical breakouts. So Cassandra, tell us about your golf game today.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I hit a few balls straight and long, and I'm very happy. And I hit some balls not so well, so I put some putts in. So overall, I'm very happy with my game. But my teammate led us to a losing streak, and so we did a two-person scramble, and so Jim and I lost.
That Jim, not this Jim.
Jim Bennett. Jim Bennett. Let me clarify, Jim Bennett.
Did we have to? I mean, all I did was ask you about your game. Have to go.
Bene, little espresso. Enjoy.
What is that called? What is that called?
This is my thing. Is affogato e ubriaco. Pistacchio affogato e ubriaco.